guess. Oh. So the rest of the day should be pretty easy after the first couple hours. Yuck. The physics professor would say yuck all the time. Yes, he'd be like, yuck. They know, like Naked Naturals knows that this one will they hire is a pretty fucking sick human being named Eowyn in the local area. She's a sociopath. So is some other sociopaths. The middle sociopath, Janine, she wasn't really the worst one, but she's the one that got fired. They always fire the least parasitical people, the people that are the most compatible with putting on an act and getting the parasitical nature protected and projected. They keep those people around. Oh, sure, people get found out, and there are people of higher ethics essentially around them. But they're never going to be in a controlling position. Really cleanse. Oh my goodness, Mom. So I've given her a way out of this house sitting thing. They don't offer any money. She's got an elderly dog she needs to take care of. She knows that it might be hard for me to take care of him by myself for 3 weeks because I have to change my entire life. I saw a deer in here once. And the summer will come. And all should be fair. It's already starting to warm up a bit. This part of the world. Good. Oh my goodness. It's weird, you live on one family member, one roommate, a certain amount of money each month. She has a certain amount of each month, and you look at people who will take advantage or pollute your home. These are the scummiest, lowest, sleazebag motherfuckers who roam the earth. And that includes my building manager and his fucking girlfriend. Jesus fucking Christ. You just don't want to. They're sick. They're physically ill people. You're smiling at me. Hi. Boom, chicka chicka boom boom. Hey, it feels so nice to have my butt dry. I was thinking, it's like I picked up some moss because you don't always find moss where you want to take a crap. So I was like, oh, take some of this moss, take some of this moss, and you're good to go. It's like I become like Hiawatha. It's like I just use moss. It's a natural. The next one is leaves. But moss is the best. It's the least abrasive. It's perfect toilet paper. Really. There's a deer. There it is. There they are. Hi. See? You wait long enough. Hi. That's the sound of it to me. Beautiful. Beautiful. Dark coat. Hi. Hello. I'm just thinking. Oh, a little thing came down from the tree. Here. Beautiful animal. A deer. A deer. A female deer. Ray. A tropical sun. Rhea is not the sun. Rays, Rhea, Ray religion, die of Rhea. Ray relationships. Cool. Reality is royalty. A robot works for royalty. Right? An android. We're all meant to be data. Programmed to give people sexual pleasure, especially if you're male, to give women sexual pleasure. I suppose they think the same way. Rhea is the mother of the gods who's not a god. Who do you think that is? The writers of the Bible who are not God but yet own the word of God and can never be unfaithful. Who do you think that is? It's royalty. Royalty is reality, which is the royal litany of their servants. A litany of deaths, a litany of memories, a litany of tortures and mental problems. Suffered not a whit by someone who becomes a professional actor on the stage of the debt-ridden history of the world. The teacher becomes an actor, the policeman becomes an actor, the doctor, pretty much all of the village people. They're just going off now. So that deer, I've probably seen them coming the same way here. They're just heading off through the woods. Oh, lovely. And they're never lost. Bye. Bye. Like a mighty Hind. The mighty Hind have come on by. I sing my finest song. The mighty Hind hath wandered by ere long, the mighty Hind ere long. I sing thy sound, my mighty song. Okay, we're gonna have to go soon. I'm just gonna keep smoking. So. Good job. That's a good omen. At this point, it'd be a good thing if my mom does house sit there or not. Again, I know they're unscrupulous predators. Okay. The truth of it has now entered my blood. Hide it from me. They're users and abusers. Got it. And I said to my mom, all the people in this building are parasitical. they're unhealthy. My mom and I are the healthiest people in our building. Except my mom befriends these people. I spend all day avoiding people, and then I gotta come home and these people are making me sick, right? Sexual predators. Okay, let's pack it up. Whoop. Water. I would wander that way and follow the deer, but I don't want to get lost, quite frankly. There's a lot of open acres here. That'll be a real challenge for me. Now, let's put this joint away. No. What I do is I've got some baby boy, so where am I going to put you? Let's roll it up. Put you here. You can stay in there. Thank you, mighty nature. Notice I haven't talked about my headache for a while. Poison in my blood. It's amazing. Like, if someone camped here for 2 weeks with their friends, you would feel the sanctity of this forest. And so, but I will quickly, just like anyone who goes outside, I'll quickly sort of suck it up. Just ignore it. It's like, if I lived here for 1,000 years, how beautiful would this place be to me? These trees had lived here. Their roots go back thousands of years. Their roots, like my blood, go back thousands of years. So all of the simple, indefatigable problems of our daily lives, in a sense, also go back 1,000 years. Or at least the reason we want to change them, or the reason that we foresee some resolution to them, goes back 1,000 years, or 10,000 years. But I think 1,000 years. Modern man in our problems goes back 1,000 years. That's useful information. I finally narrowed in on it, right? Whatever's wrong with people, whatever modern parasitical shifts, it's like 1,000 years of darkness. It's 1,000 years of the parasite. That's what humans are suffering from. And that's how many... oh, that's perfect. Sneezing is good. We want that. Okay. Right? Well, how many generations is 1,000 years? Right? 20 generations? More? 25 generations? Imagine 20 generations of your flesh and blood drifting into an overly parasitical world that we've but learned to accommodate and break up into good and bad. So imagine a new darkness, a winter, that you were forced to break up into a winter. But it was all winter. And that's kind of like Canada, because it's 12 months of winter. Pick it up into winter and summer, but really it's just different kinds of winter, right? And that's kind of like, it doesn't matter how good you think anything is, it's just a different kind of winter. The modern tree of good is one in which good is just as good as evil can be, and evil is as evil as good can be, right? It doesn't matter which way you swing. Everything that's feminine is feminine is something that should be masculine, or masculine that should be feminine, or like, you don't think that gender and hormones can have less friendly incarnations, right? You meet bad women, you meet good women, you meet bad men, you meet good men, you meet good homosexuals, bad homosexuals, right? Why? And what is it to do with human sex that is also part of what makes anyone bad? And anyone can be so bad at the same time think they're doing something completely righteous, you know? And it's lucky that the people control us have forced us to be that way, because they know how to control that. They know how to control psychos. They know how to control schizophrenics, right? And you get most people like that, and then people like me or you, we get controlled as well. Because what are you going to do, right? You're living in a land of vipers, happy vipers. So you walk around here, as I will, and most people you meet are overweight and sick. People in my building are sick, right? Right? I don't want to live around sickness. That's the one downside of my life. I get on pretty good. I like living with my mom, but I hate to be around sickness. And as long as I'm close to people or bound to my mom in some way, there's always going to be sickness around me. She's very naive to psychopaths, right? She lets them in. She's very friendly, and she thinks she's getting what she wants. And I just want her to be sure she's getting what she wants, because she hasn't made herself really sure. And it's like, I expedited the process of, like, she'll say yes to people, and then she'll start thinking about it. Right? The good thing about these people, I'll give them credit for, is that they asked my mom a month or 2 months in advance. That much is good. Okay. I think they haven't brought up the subject of money, and that I also detected they're just not terribly really thoughtful about where my mom is coming from. Those, I think, and the fact that they've helped to pollute my blood, they speak very ill about. Especially now has already sexually harassed me once. Right? So I don't really consider people like that women. Right? No real woman would ever do that. Right? These women become so shredded and so sick when they walk around, but they think they've inherited all the reasons that women to dislike various men, and they lower their inhibitions, meting out basically nothing more than predatory sexual behavior in the name of feminism, or they make everything they're a part of look bad. They make women look bad. The same thing with men. You know, they make men look bad. You find your life just like, oh fuck, men are demons. Men are awful, crazy things. Like, when you're young, you never think that a man, you know, in the adult world, could be so sick, you know. And as I've gotten older, I've met men and women who are so parasitical, so septic. You wonder how they get along with anybody, you know. And they show you the face of this monster, and they show other people. You can see the monster walking around. How anyone has ever trusted this person with anything is beyond you, right? Let's go this way. I've met these people, right? And you can study them. They and their friends or their colleagues, they are able to mete out this incredibly predatory behavior when you're really isolated. Would land a lot of people in prison, get you excommunicated from your village. But they do this on a regular basis. It's part of who they are. It's whatever they've needed to do has become symbiotic with the parasitical leanings of humanity. And it makes use of all of the little gaps in human consciousness and ethics that are taken over by an excessive and parasitic and the suspension of disbelief. So that all the difficult things people are trying to master, part of these adult social groups, are allowed here through these people and other dynamic devices to distribute themselves onto patsies and dupes and victims and scapegoats, with literally most of the time no repercussions. In fact, if the victim manages to repulse them, to expose them, or to show them that they stand to lose property or harm in some way, they become even more enraged. Because most of their life or career, nobody's ever rejected their advances. No one's ever stopped them, because when they need to do this, it's like going to take a crap and somebody saying you can't use the toilet. Just as you pull down the pants, just as you got your dick out trying to rape some woman, somebody says no. Imagine how enraged the rapist would be. The parasitic will interrupt what they're doing, they can become enraged. Interruption becomes the source of a lot of violent crime. When I started asking my own questions about this, House said she started getting more angry, interrupting the magical thinking that had intoxicated her. They've intoxicated her with promises about beautiful ocean view, an apartment she hasn't even seen yet. And she's committing, and they're getting her commit, and they've lured her to commit to 3 weeks of living away from her dog, without any thought of money whatsoever. Right? And I've noticed the female has cultivated more friend mom chat right in front of me, right around me, in front of me, because these are really sincere actors. They're honest liars, right? And so persons to become really honest liars. An actor on a stage can do all kinds of shit. It's darkness of the audience, because essentially the actor is in darkness and the audience is in darkness, and yet something brilliant is going on in the darkness, and the darkness comprehendeth it not. Right? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word is the script, it's the plot, it's the grave and perverted behavior going on in the darkness of the theater. The darkness in the book of John is the darkness of the theater, and all these perversions can go on out into the darkness, and you respond accordingly. But you don't take moral everything that you see while in the theater, because you've lost all your inhibitions, all your ethical as to what you're seeing in the darkness. And you go out and you live in the darkness, and the day seems even brighter. You go outside the theater and you're like, woo! You toast each other in the good fortune of seeing a wonderful play or movie. Ooh, yay! But you're out, the actor's in the darkness, and the actor can lose all their inhibitions, and you can become emboldened, and you can feel as though you've been emboldened by losing all these survival neuroses about the present world, while being programmed and taken on a ride that has a plot, just like a grave has a plot in the ground. You're actually being hypnotized. Your spirit is being sublimated by the play and the plot, and the floor of all your employment, the hypnosis you're put under to keep giving up your life for negative financial instruments. Money is an industry, and it's worth. It never has been, right? It's an illusion. Yeah. It's the most powerful illusion in the world is the illusion of money, right? That's God's illusion, right? God's lubricant for wars, violence, pestilence is money. Money, 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 money. And everyone needs it every day. Money, money. Where's my next money going to come from? My children better make some good money, money, money. Or who knows what's going to happen to them if they don't make money, money, money. But you can't make money. Only the owners of money who treat you as their capital. That's why your birth certificate is in capital letters, because you've been capitalized. You see? Right? Which basically means in capital letters that they can do anything they want with you. It is a binding capitalization. That ownership can never be reversed. It's black magic. They want it to be irreversible. Your capitalization. Tal. The water, the fire engendered by the sacred waters, has been put to a demonic. The soul is born. Just the zygote. It's born with an industrial fire, right? They grow up and it's like, I want to have sex. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. Yeah, I'm on fire, right? The song's on fire. Great balls of fire, right? The fires of hell. Hell is really heaven. This fire is a demonic fire. It's the new psychosis, the new man, on fire for God, on fire for parties, on fire for alcohol, on fire for the local environmental movement, on fire for feminism, on fire for the lords of war, on fire for the stage. Ooh, electric and on fire, like a comet passing through the world. Ooh, your skin is hot, right? That girl is hot, that guy is hot, he's on fire. I'm feeling flames licking my flesh. I want to consume him in desire, right? The soul is on fire, right? The fire of the soul is the Yule of the sun. Apollo has killed the sun and uses the moon as a shield. And the moon is Satan's shield. It's not really Satan. It's the god devil Satan, the Baphomet of Satan, the twisting of Satan, and all the truth of the true nature of the Father and the Mother of the earth, and your mother and father. True nature of fire and water and the balance and equilibrium of the generous symbiosis of all things turned into a war between winter and summer, so that summer becomes nothing more than a different kind of winter, right? People live in different flavors of psychosis. It's just a different version of the same thing. Debt. They live under debt all their lives. My God, man. How many generations have we lived under this debt? The debt of God. The persuasive witchcraft of the stage and of the theater, right? Which is God's torture, theotor, right? Captain AO, Captain EO is the bank. CEO, God is the owner of the bank. When Michael Jackson is Captain EO, he's working for the bank. The captain is the bank, Captain EO of theology. Theonomics. Economics is theonomics. God's language of debt and death. Right? Ergonomics, economics. Astrology. Astronomy. It's all the same thing. It's all part of the theater of modern knowledge to keep you enslaved by measures of death. Deep, dark, cold in space, which is excessive lunacy. It's a parasitical nature that eats you alive. If you don't wear your spacesuit, you'll die. You have to wear a costume in 99.9% of the universe or you'll die. How does that make any sense? You can't be yourself in space. You have to put on a spacesuit. Right? And then watch the movie where they kiss for the first time in space. Their helmets touch. They come back and they try to kiss, but the spacesuits get in the way. Right? So they strip them off as quickly as possible and fuck. Right? And the next day, the first thing she wants to do when she says, "You're so beautiful," is she jumps out of her seat to fuck him and to shove her pussy in his face. This is a science fiction movie, right? And then in another scene, she tries to murder him. Right? And then they enter into a magical delusion together. Right? The bartender is an android. Who shares information that inappropriately, all these perversions throughout the movie, because theater is about perversions. They've got kinds of perversions built into the plot, which is always a grave audience that is being captivated and capitalized by the theater owner, God, the economic system. I really nicked my elbow yesterday. in a sense, winter and summer have a sort of communicability. They have an interchangeability, a symbiosis. Okay? They can share likenesses in different space and time. And so the witches of the world, they use death and life in this way. So that death can kind of have an interchangeability with life. Right? Your memories become interchangeable with the stuff of your memorial. Your hours become the hours of Horus and death and Set. And yet the sun does not set, but that it sings. The breath does not come to an end, but that it draws forth a new song as the eagle starts to cry and sing. See the resonance between my voice and the physical environment of these wilds. She smells like vanilla when she comes out of a bath. It's amazing. Probably keeps vanilla hand cream as it is somewhere. Yeah, so